in the green room, we have Torben Nordal Clausen. And really what prompted this was I spotted an article in Børsen, which is the Danish equivalent to the FT. And this article is broadly about an organization in growth mode, but it's also broadly about an organization that is basing its very foundation on a shareholder model, which I believe is a little new for power traders. Certainly, it's not necessarily new to independent commodity traders, but the distinct aim of this organization is to create shareholders rather than employees, and to aim for an IPO. I will get into the weeds with Torben. I think let's bring Torben out from the green room, and he can tell us much more about it. Torben, a good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Pleasure to be on the show.
Hey, it's an absolute pleasure. Like, Torben, let's start with a nutshell about what the MFT shareholder model is about and how it differs from a conventional power trading setup.
Yeah, well, we did when we founded the company, we had an extremely deep desire to make everyone partners, to ensure that everyone had a personal journey, but also a financial journey with us. So in order to achieve that, we developed two models, so everyone has the opportunity to become a partner, an owner. And the first model is a model that target entrepreneurs in the market, meaning that people that have a special talent, very good at doing business in one segment in the power or gas market. Basically, what we do is that we create a company, and instantly the team that joins us gets shares, so they are partners from the first day. And then they join the MFT platform, meaning that we have developed a platform so they can plug and play into the finance, the legal side, the treasury, the risk management, the leadership, market access. So the team of entrepreneurs, they can really focus on what they really enjoy, and that's doing business in their niche market. They don't have to think about all the administration that is taken care of. So that is the first model. And the second model is for people that actually deliver the platform. So that is people working in finance or support. And that model is that when people get on board, get employed, then we set up targets. Once they have reached the targets, they come into you can call it a partner committee, where we decide have targets actually been reached, and have they lived up to the value of the company. And once that is decided, they have opportunity to become shareholder also. And hereby, everyone, either you have talent in the business or you have talent in the support, everyone has the opportunity to become partner. So that is basically the two models that we are operating with.
Okay. Understood. Yeah. Okay. Well, you've kind of answered the second question I had was really around sort of the how and the who. But let me ask you how the idea came about in the first place. Is it your brainchild, or where did the shareholder model come from as a concept?
It's a deep desire in the leadership, and it's a recognition that building a company is not a one-man show. It's a team show. It's everyone's effort to build a company. So this is a deep belief that we have in leadership in MFT, and we also have this deep belief that once we become successful, we also want to share the success. What's the point of you as an owner getting the whole cake when we rather would have a big party down the road where we can share the whole cake with everyone. So this is a really deep desire and recognition that building a company is a team effort. That's why we have done this.
Okay, thank you, Torben. You've led other companies. You've led a few, in fact. You've also been an investor in a number of initiatives, and you've also been a coach of a number of startups. I'm keen to understand a little bit about some of your own philosophies around well, the article in Börsen highlights, transparency, communication, fairness, highly relative terms. I think depending on who you ask, I want to understand where you sit on these philosophies. Let's start with transparency. What does that mean to you?
Well, the thing is, if you base transparency on our model, it means for us that we are completely honest and completely open about every single detail in our model. Meaning that, if you want to create a partnership model, you should deeply mean it, and then you shouldn't hide anything. So transparency for us is that we take, you can say, we take each employee and explain into every single detail what is the model about, being completely open and honest. What can go good? What if things goes well? What is your upside? And also on the other side, if things does not go as planned, what is your risk? So that is transparency. If you want to build a partnership, you should mean it 100%. That means also you should be open. Don't hide anything. In that way, the partner also feels that you're on the same team. So that is transparency.
And that, many of the points you just mentioned just sort of dovetails onto the communication piece, which you've highlighted around achieving transparency. I guess is through the communication piece. Before moving on to fairness, which can mean a lot of things. Not just reward. How would do you see a real distinction in terms of the importance of those fundamental pillars, transparency, communication, and fairness, in your shareholder model compared to a conventional model? Are they not the same qualities that we're looking for in a leadership or in a culture, or are there distinctions?
I think in respect of for instance, being transparent and being fair, that should also be reflected, in for instance, the legal document. Because if you want to be fair, again, this is something you should mean. So what we have done is to create a very fair model. So you know exactly what terms you get in. You also know exactly the terms if you want to leave. What terms are you leaving? And the fairness is also, we will also reward you in respect of the amount of value you have created while you've been on board. So again, when you do this, you should do it by heart. So the employees and partners completely understand you, and also when you go through the legal documents, you can also see it is fair. So we have spent a lot of time on the legal side, and some of our lawyers actually said to us that even our bad lever might even be a good lever in other companies. So we have done a lot to make it really, really fair for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. No, clear. Let's talk about culture and cultural differences between what you are driving at MFT Energy versus what you've seen in other organizations. Is there are you feeling a distinct difference in terms of the internal culture now that you've made, well, according to the article, this may have changed since, but 37 out of 61 of the employees are shareholders. Tell me what you have noticed in terms of cultural differences by implementing that shareholdership.
Yeah, I think when you become a partner, you feel different. You feel that you take a bigger responsibility to raise your hand if something is wrong, or you raise your hands when you have good ideas. And it's also challenging to be a leader when you have 37 partners, because they ask questions, they challenge you, and in that way we as leadership also become better, because we are challenged by all the brains in the company. So I feel that everyone takes their job more seriously, and everyone really strive to build a company that we can all be proud of the day when the day comes when we actually will open the doors for other investors. I've while the few times we could be in the office, I've overheard conversations from some of the team saying well, we cannot really file this document because this is not good enough for, when we do the IPO, meaning that everyone understands the journey we are on and takes it very seriously. So overall, I think, apart from being more motivated, people also, challenge, they come with more ideas, which is good for everyone.
I get that. Let's talk about what happens then. You got a shareholder who is asking questions, challenging his or her leader. All good. Yeah. We like that. But what happens if it's somebody that's just an opinionated underperformer, or some other, should we say, some other unattractive corporate member, but happens to be a shareholder? How do you manage that? How do you go into appraisals when you are appraising a shareholder, and you actually you want the shareholdership agenda to be left behind, and say, let's just talk performance. Let's just talk about whether you are actually, whether you're a good contributor, or whether you're a toxic colleague that we need to get rid of, or you're underperforming. What can you share with us there in terms of some of the challenges that you've had?
I think first of all, it's important to split the two things. I mean, one thing is you're a shareholder, and the second thing is that you're an employee. And those two things are completely different. So in everyday life in the company, this is not mixed. I mean, you can have your shareholder hat on, and the other, you can have your employee hat on. But when you work in MFT, it's very important that, you live by our values and perform as a colleague. And you will be appraised as a colleague and as an employee, no matter how many shares you have. It's the same rules for everyone. So we don't say, because you have these many shares, you have this kind of say. It doesn't matter. A shareholder is something where you discuss, where you have shareholder meetings. But in everyday life, you have to live up to the values and be a good colleague and good partner. So it's two different things that we are distinguishing very much about.
Understood. Okay. That was only one of the potential sort of challenges that I sort of could think of. You're now sort of comfortably beyond the honeymoon period in running this as a concept. And it's easy for us to sit with rose-tinted glasses on and say, oh, do traders like to get a share of their P&L? Tick. Do they like to have a part of the company? Tick. Would they like their cake and eat it any day of the week? So let's talk about challenges. Let's talk about pitfalls and how you've navigated those in the journey so far.
Of course, as you say, honeymoon is always a happy time. And then after some time, you can run into challenges, and that's the same in a company. As long as we're performing well, as we do at the moment, everybody are happy. But of course, the downside on this model is if we start to performing badly, lose money, market are not there. Of course, then the motivation could be challenged. Could be eroded. So of course, a longer period of time where the company doesn't perform will of course challenge this model, because as a partner employee, you can say, what are the shares worth then? There's no financial upside. But I believe that true partners also find a solution on this, and so we can fight together, getting back on track for whatever reason it is that we are not performing. But of course, that is the biggest pitfall, as you say, on this model, is if you as a company do not perform. And you can also say, if the situation should come that we needed to, for instance, deploy more money as shareholders, that can also be a challenge, because it's not possible maybe that all employees can contribute with extra cash. So that bad performance is the biggest pitfall for this model.
Understood. So bearing in mind that I'm sure there are a number of your shareholders that have decided to join our live session today, tell me about the IPO aim. Is it on track, Torben?
It's very much. What we did last year was that we built a 3-year plan to be ready for the IPO. And last year we called it building the base. That's where we built the foundation of MFT. taking care of finance, the legal, the treasury, the risk, the market access, building the leadership, software, IT, all the things that are essential for running a company. That was taken care of last year. And of course, there was a lot of changes going on, and a lot of these changes will settle down during this year. And what we also did last year was we employed a lot of people. So now we have very strong teams starting the 1st of Jan. So that, we have the right people on each position. So this year is called growth year. So this year is really about growing as much as we can, and we had a very, very good start this year. And then next year is the IPO year. That's where we finalize everything. That's where we paint the house, preparing everything so it looks nice, and we will start the process of the IPO, which will then be in 2 years' time. So overall, we are so to say, we are more or less ready for an IPO. We will just spend some time to mature the organization, to mature the business, to grow the business, and then in 2 years' time we will start approaching the IPO and do that. And also, I think it's also important for me to emphasize that IPO is not the goal for us. The IPO is a stepstone for us, because the longer perspective for our company is to become the best global trader within energy, gas, and power. So this is like the goal we are aiming for, and the IPO is a tool for us to get there, and it's a tool for us also for financially, but also for everyone that are partners and working in the company, because it's a way that you as a person can grow significantly. There's so many things you can learn in this process. So strategy is a place we are ready, getting more ready every day. And then when we feel that we are there, then we're going external for the IPO.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's clear. IPO is part of the roadmap, not an aim in itself. I get that. At what point do you feel that, or maybe you already have proof of concept, but at what point can we start talking about an acid test, whether this model has succeeded over and above a more conventional, should we say, Aarhus model? As you said, as we all know, you're not the only firm on the street. So there should be plenty of opportunity to contrast and compare. At what point can we get you back on the show and ask you to bring your homework, and we'll do a proper asset test? When do you feel that you could look at that and genuinely compare it to should we say a more traditional setup?
Well, if it goes well, I come back. Otherwise, you will not hear from me. That's the first thing. But I think you cannot really say one model is better than the other. I think both models can work fine. You can have a partnership model, and you can also have a conventional model. Yeah. But I think the biggest difference is the feeling it creates for everyone, because you can have a conventional model and then a few people can make a lot of money, but our model has a different purpose. We don't measure our success only financially. We also measure it in respect of the motivation that we create, that we are able to empower all the talents to become the best they can be. So for us, it's not only the financial. It's most important for us is actually the personal growth journey that we are able to offer people, and that's also for me as a leader and my colleague in leadership. That is our greatest motivation. That is actually when we can help our talents to succeed. So for us, if you measure financially, both models, there's not so many differences. The thing is that we share of financial success. And that's really what what motivates us also. Clear.
What are the challenges for you as a leader for a setup like that? Because it differs somewhat from the types of energy businesses you've led before. How have you had to adjust?
I don't think I had to. I had to adjust so much, and I don't think leadership has to adjust so much. I think one of the challenges is what we touched about before, is that the mix of having partners that are both employees and also shareholders.
Yeah.
So even though I said before very clearly, we try to split it. In reality, sometimes it is mixed. So we just have to help ourselves, everyone, that now we talk employees talk, or now we talk shareholder talk. So I think that there's a little bit blurry thing there that we organization have to work with. So I think that is one of the things that we have to adjust, in everyday business.
Understood. Okay. We haven't been blessed with any questions, Torben. I'm pleased to share with you. So I was thinking we were going to get a few more challenges. Lots of thumbs up and rockets from Team MFT and others. So thank you for that, Torben. I'm going to say thank you very much for your time, for your insights. From all of us here in the studio, we wish you and your colleagues every bit of success. A reminder to everybody that the quick how-to shareholder guide is available. A quick message away to either myself or Torben as a takeaway from today's chat. So I think we will say goodbye to Torben, and thank you very much.